by a silver-haired old lady with a honk if you love Jesus sticker on the bumper of her car.
Hey, welcome back to Pagitt Radio. We have this lament that we do every week, this common call-out, this Cripes, this come on, this need to say, you've got to be kidding me, things should not be this way. It's the public lament of humanity. Mm-hmm. There's a need for us to cry.
Yes, there is.
Things are broken.
Mm-hmm.
We should, for sure.
Yes.
But we shouldn't stay there.
No.
We shouldn't be complainers.
No.
Because lament doesn't mean... that doesn't mean complaining.
No.
Nope, it means doing something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Your lament, your call-out should cause you to say, what kind of world do I want to live in? We have choices to make.
We do.
We're not just sitting here taking it.
No.
There's some things we don't have any control over.
No.
For sure. I can't fix my eye color.
No.
Put colored contacts in.
You could.
But there's just some things you can't make any changes with. But there are some things you can do something about. Mm-hmm. And the lament ought to cause you to say, what am I going to do about that?
What?
What kind of world am I going to live in? And so we'll end the second hour with the right on.
Yes.
From lament to righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
From you got to be kidding me to now that's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Attaboy.
Attaboy. So we come up with the Cripes, and I come on, you got to be kidding me. This last week, I was Cripesing multiple times.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I was. Because the person that I share my house, my children, my finances, my matrimonial vow with.
Oh.
I had to drive my car because I was driving the vehicle that this person drives. Mm-hmm. And somehow, the antenna, the physical piece of metal that sticks off the roof of the car in order to grab radio waves, which, frankly, the fact that I own a car that still has...
I was just saying an older model vehicle.
An older model vehicle is in and of itself.
I mean, it has a wire sticking out of the roof?
Yeah, but it's encased inside of a piece of metal.
Oh, okay.
A piece of soft, pliable, extremely
bendable.
Vulnerable, bendable metal, apparently. got caught, and I didn't push for details because, somehow got caught on something in the garage. Inexplicably caught on something. Mm-hmm. Somehow it got hooked onto some piece of stationary object somewhere.
Like the not completely open garage door, perhaps?
Perhaps. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I still can't figure out what it was. Got hooked on something as she was backing up, and it snapped the antenna. Not only broke the little metal piece, but broke the apparatus that holds that metal piece to the roof of the car. So now, when I get in my car, all I hear is... on every radio channel. And I can't get caught in a car with just my own head ringing.
No.
I mean, that is
left
not...
alone to your own thoughts?
that is... I need a little help.
It makes for a long drive.
So every time. So now I have this thing in my car that allows my phone that can get radio on the internet to plug in, and then I can pick up a radio frequency from that little transmitter in my, inside my dashboard, plugged into the cigarette lighter. I can get that distance. I can get that 6 foot radius, that 6 foot distance to pick it up. So then I got to plug in my phone. I know this is a total first world problem, but I've got to plug in my phone. I've got to launch the app for AM 950 or for NPR or for Stitcher Radio or any of the places where I want to listen to particular broadcasting. And I've got to set that up every time I get in the car. And then I take my phone with me, and then the apps have to shut off, and then I have to turn them back on. And I got to tell you, I'm not prepared for that kind of struggle. I don't know how long a guy
2 minutes to your journey.
I don't know how long a guy... Because, you know what I've realized? I don't drive that far.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, short trips. I'm the master of the short trip. I'm in and out. The car's barely warm. By the time I launch that thing and kind of get it going, I feel like... to have to sit there and put all that together and get it to it just drives me crazy. So having a car without the radio, I mean, I'm not asking for CD players.
Nope.
Just radio.
You got one of those.
I have a radio in there, and it doesn't work. It's just enough to make a guy want to lose his mind.
Can we just duct tape, a wire coat hanger onto there?
I don't know. I've thought, what do I need to do to get into this thing? And I've realized that's totally out of my scope. I feel like I'm a fairly competent, capable person in this world. I can't begin to tell you what I have to do to fix that antenna on the 1997 Honda CR-V. So if anybody knows what you have to do to replace your antenna on a 1997 CR-V, it's red. If you know how to help with that, I would be glad to know, because I'm telling you, I don't think I can last much longer. I'm going to have to get a new car.
If only we had a radio expert in the studio.
If only we had an award-winning musician that also understood radio.
Yeah.
Brian. So there's things in this world that just make you say cripes, and I've been saying it. I mean, every time. And you know what else? I'm like an Alzheimer's patient.
Oh, yeah.
I get in the car, and I forget.
All right.
Yeah, almost every time.
It takes you 5 minutes to go, oh.
That's right, I got to do that. So then I'm just reminded with the frustration. So that was making me say cripes all week, last 2 weeks, actually. I've been overwhelmed with it.
Oh,
the come on happened to me
saddened
today.
That you're suffering.
The come on happened to me this morning. I was over at a little restaurant. I wanted to pay for the meal that I was going to enjoy with a whole stack of $1 bills that I had in my wallet.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you why it is that I was carrying around a bunch of $1 bills, but I had a particular event on Friday night where people pay in ones. So I had many ones, and they're quite inefficient, right? I mean, they're thick when you get a stack of them. So I was going to pay. So I'm trying to count out this number of ones to pay the bill, and trying to add the tip into my mind while I'm counting out these ones. And on the radio in the station in the restaurant, that seemed to pick up just fine. They didn't have an antenna problem. Just mocking me,
right,
mocking me incessantly. The 1980s classic song, which I love, about Jenny and her phone number, 867-5309. Which was hitting that crescendo where they're singing 867-5309 repeatedly, was playing. I couldn't stop listening and kept losing track of the count. Finally, I said to the girl, she was watching. I mean, it was awkward, right? I was standing there trying to pay her. She kind of got bright eyes, like, you're having trouble getting up to the requisite amount that you owe for your bill, aren't you, fella? And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't not hear this song right now. I'm singing it, and I'm getting to 13, and I'm back at 867-5309. And
just hand her the wad of money.
I handed her the wad of money and said, "Could you just count that? Could you count that for me?" So I was overwhelmed, and I was like, "Oh, come on, you got to be kidding me!" All right, so and John, you in a similar coffee shop environment, have you got to be kidding me for this week?
Yeah, so I was sitting at a Southern California a coffee shop, and so next to me was an older gentleman, and he was listening to his iPhone. And he was doing a Bible study. It was the book of Hebrews, and I could tell by the cover it was like an older commentary in the book of Hebrews. All right, which is fine and great, know. And so he's like listening to music or something in his headphones, and I'm sitting there trying to do my own thing. I don't have my headphones in or whatever, but I keep on hearing this. This high-pitched whistling is going on in my ear, and there's dogs howling in the neighborhood or whatever. And so I look over, and it's this man, and he's reading to himself, but it's very quiet. But except for the, all I can think of is that rabbit in Winnie the Pooh, like suffering succotash, or
he's whistling on the S's while he's silently reading.
And I'm half deaf anyway.
That's right. You can only hear out of one ear and barely out of that ear.
Right. And so that was driving me. I had to leave. I couldn't shut the guy down. I'm like, hey, sir, I just would have felt that would have been
because the thought of turning to an elderly gentleman
studying
who's studying the book of Hebrews and saying to him, you know what, that little speech impediment that you got there, that's killing me. That's killing me. So you had to get up. Well, good for you.
You got to be kidding me.
You got to be kidding me. Well, you know what? You almost got the right on for not being that guy. Because there are things in this world that just make you say, oh, cripes. Like when you can't even listen to the radio in your car, or come on, when you can't count.
Yes.
Because you got that song in your head, or the whistling Bible study guy.
Yes.
Back after the break.